Hi, welcome to Prati's kitchen. Hello dearies, how you all doing? Hope you're all geared up towards a beautiful weekend. Beautiful because it's weekend of celebration. It's Valentine's Day.
ये हमारा मिलना इत्तेफाक नहीं है, मर्जी है खुदा की, मजाक नहीं है।
So here's wishing a very happy Valentine's Day to all my friends and my family out there. So though we don't need a special day to celebrate Valentine's Day, every day is a Valentine Day when you're in love with someone. But because Prati does not miss any occasion, be it Valentine's Day, Mother's Day or Women's Day, I'm out there to cook something out of Prati's kitchen. So today I have made this. This is my very rough and first attempt to make a bread basket. I hope you like it, and it's of course the simplest one version, but it might take a little bit of time, a labor. So I just thought I'll just make and probably share this recipe with you all so that when you're at leisure you could just make something so delicious and cute and elegant for your loved ones. And this bread basket is so simple to make, and you can just load it up with loads of maybe bread items like croissants or probably donuts, a regular donut and bread and things like that. So today I just made a bread basket and donuts, heart-shaped donuts. So let's start cooking. So as you all know, the key ingredient for baking is dry yeast. I'm taking about 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast there. To it I've added about 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. You may add regular sugar. And now I'm adding about half a cup of lukewarm milk. You may even add lukewarm water, but make sure it's not hot. It's lukewarm. Now let it sit for about 15 minutes until it raises and forms a fizzy consistency. And now we'll make a yeast mixture for our donuts. Now for donuts, I feel somewhere if you add egg, it really turns out good. So I am taking about 2 tablespoons of dry yeast, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, about 1 egg, and next the lukewarm milk. Now egg is completely optional. I have just added because see, I've tried both the versions with egg and without egg. I somewhere feel the donuts can turn out to be especially good and fluffy and taste really yum when you add egg. So nevertheless, it's just okay. Even if you do not add egg, it comes out equally yum. So keep it aside to proof up. Now while our yeast is proofing up, let's start making our dough. Now I'm adding about 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You may take the regular wheat flour as well. To it I'm adding about 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. You may use the regular oil. And to it I've added salt as per taste, about 1.5 teaspoon. So give it a good mix, and I think our 15 minutes is done. So I'm just checking my yeast. It is completely proofed up. It proofs up even better when kept a little longer, but nevertheless when I add it up in my dough, it's gonna anyways proof up. So I am just going to simply mix this mixture into the flour mix, and I'm adding about half a cup of water. So totally 1 cup of wet ingredient has gone in there. So I have added half a cup of my yeast mixture to it, half a cup of water. So total 1 cup of water has gone in there. And now you just keep slowly adding water if required to make the dough consistency to the thing which I'm showing you right here. So if your dough consistency is a little softer, that's when I think your dough comes out to be very nice, and the texture turns out to be really yum, soft, and delicious. So once you're done kneading it roughly, just grease it up with a little bit of oil and close the lid and keep it aside for 1 hour to proof up. So while our dough is proofing up, let's prepare our donut dough. Now for the donut dough, you need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. The measurement remains the same, but I've taken about 2 cups here. I'll add up the other 1 cup later. I'm adding 3 spoons of caster sugar, 3 tablespoons of oil. Now the donuts are a bit sweet in taste, which is why I've added sugar here to the dough. Now look at that beautifully fizzed up yeast mix. This is what I am looking for. This is exactly how your yeast will proof up. So I had had enough time for this one because we were kneading the other dough, and we got almost roughly 25 minutes. So this was sitting for 25 minutes, and which is why it is wonderfully proofed up. So now just pour in this wet ingredient, my yeast ingredient, into the flour, and to it I'm adding about half a cup of water. So total 1 cup of wet ingredient going in there. Give it a good mix. It's a similar what you call ingredient mix which we had used for the previous dough. So just give it a good mix. So we are looking for a consistency that is little towards a softer end. So add as much as water required or flour required, but make sure you're making a softer dough. Now this is the initial first stage of making a dough, which will be softer. Once you start kneading, that's when it will become more elastic and thick. Now just grease it up, let it sit for about 1 hour, and then we will see the magic. Now until then, let's prepare our basket mold. So basically for the basket, I have taken an oval shaped bowl, microwavable bowl. So you may take any shape that you have or like. So I am taking an oval one. Just wrap it up with silver foil so that our dough doesn't stick to the mold and it easily comes out. When the basket is made, it just comes out very easy. Now let's see if our dough is proofed up. Woohoo, it's been an hour and look at the beautiful fluffed up dough. Now this is without egg, so let us just kind of knead it super well. I'm going to be kneading it for roughly about say 5 to 10 minutes. 7 to 10 minutes is minimum to kind of knead it super well. So just knead, and after you knead for 5 to 7 minutes, apply a little bit of oil, grease your hands with oil, and this is the final stage of kneading. So I'm going to be kneading it super well because I've got the right consistency. When do you know it's the right consistency? When it is no more sticking to your hand or to your kitchen top. So this is when I know that I'm done, and also this is the biggest sign that your dough is good. See how it bounces back? It has to have that elasticity in your dough. If the elasticity is this, then I think you are going right, buddy. So yeah, now divide the dough into 4 halves. We'll be needing one half to roll it up to a thin chapati roll. It is the chapati roll is as what you do for your regular chapatis, but make it in a bigger size. So the width would be the similar one. It is not too thick nor too thin, so just roll it up, roll, and after rolling we will just cut it into thin strips because we're making a basket. So for basket we would need beautiful strips. So I am done rolling up this chapati. So if you see, it's a regular width of the chapati. It is not too thick or thin. Cut the sides. Use a pizza cutter. I really had to switch back to pizza cutter because it was really coming uneven. So this is a pizza cutter. See, I'm going to be removing the corners because it did not come in shape. So we need good shape, basket. So for that we need good regular sized strips. So now let's start making a basket. Before that, just grease a little bit of oil onto your foil and start placing your strips just the way I'm showing you. So this is how you will make your basket. So this is the base of your basket. I'm going to be now needing more strips, so just make as much as possible to finish your basket. So once you're done doing this, give it a good press at the bottom because we don't want it to pop out or not stand or look uneven. So pressing at the bottom is really essential, which is why I pressed it with a bowl in the center. And also remove the extras at the bottom. We don't want the lengthier ones, it has to exactly end at the bottom. Now we'll start with the second round of our second phase, you may call, where it is going to be overlapping. So I am just doing the alternate strips, like one goes down, one comes up. So start doing it. While you start your strip, paste it with a little bit of water. Use a little bit of slurry or water. I've used water here. So keep doing this and finish your entire basket in the similar way. So you will use as many strips as possible, as many as required, and wherever you end, you start sticking the fresh one on top of it using a little bit of water. So your finish has to be a little neat, and also make sure you're using enough water to stick it, otherwise it might just kind of open up, which will again not give you a neat looking basket. So that's very simple. It's just that you're paying a little attention while sticking and restarting the entire thing. So see, tada, I am so done with my beautiful basket over there. Oh, that looks gorgeous. And I'm just chopping off all the extras that's come out. So just do the similar way, and now we will give it an egg wash. Now people who are vegetarian here, I am so sorry, I'm just kind of using egg wash here, but you might as well use your regular milk wash. So add a little bit of sugar to your milk, mix it well and brush it up. So I am using egg yolk here because egg yolk gives a beautiful yellow golden shiny texture to your basket. So I am using egg yolk. This is about 1 egg yolk that has gone in for making the entire bread basket, and then its handle and everything else. So I'm just giving it a good egg wash before it gets into my oven. So I'll be baking it for roughly about 20 minutes and at 180 Celsius. So I will just do that. While that is baking, I am making the borders and the handle for my basket. So it is just this normal braiding of your hair pattern. So basically take 3 strips, stick it at the top with the help of water or slurry, and start braiding it. So it's that simple. So keep it flat while braiding. Make sure it's not twisted, it's not turned, it's just coming beautifully as you're seeing it. And that is when your basket's handle as well as the top part would look really beautiful and finished look comes. So just do that, and I'm going to be braiding another one because the length of the first braided handle was too small. I need to attach, and I couldn't roll a big chapati to get a big strip. So if you can manage to make a big lengthier strip, then you can get a long braid. In that case, you do not have to braid. Just check out your bowl size and you have to braid the strips accordingly. So yeah, I'm done making 2. So let me also show you an alternate and easy method of making a handle or probably the borders of a basket. That is just simply twisting the I'm just taking 2 strips and twisting and overlapping and just making it look like a rope. So basically the rope texture is also equally beautiful and easy. It just saves time and energy, and if you're good at braiding, then I think you might as well go for the braiding one because that looks very beautiful and elegant. This is also very cute. In fact, if you're making a smaller basket, I think you should go for this, and it saves time actually. So I'm just making it for another basket that I'm making, a cutie little basket, a very cute little basket. So I just thought that'll go and pair up with my bigger one. So for that, I'm making this handle and the border of the basket. So just make that, and this is how I'm going to be making the smaller basket. So smaller basket, again the same pattern, and it comes out really quick. Initially I just thought I'll make I'll just show you today how to make small baskets, tiny baskets, but then I thought I actually made this earlier with my katori chart, basket katori chart, tokri chart, which I made, and so thought let me make a little variation this time. So I'm done making my tokri. Whoa, look at my basket. It has just come fresh out of my oven. Let me tell you, it is smelling so beautiful. The whole house is turned aromatic, and look at the beautiful color. That beautiful color because of the egg yolk that we've used, because egg yolk definitely gives that shine. So yeah, and now we will just put it aside for 5 minutes first, and then I've rested it for 10 good minutes so that it just cools down. And now carefully I'm going to be removing it. So demolding is very, very important and careful procedure. So just follow the instructions as I'm guiding you with. So just slowly remove it and then remove the foil, and ta-da, look at that beautiful basket. I literally felt that this is a real basket. I never could ever sense that it is edible. So that looked so perfect and beautiful. So yeah, we are done. Keep it aside. Now we will bake our handle and the borders. So just take your bowl, same bowl, and you have to just draw or trace it on a parchment paper, and with the same measurement of its size, we're going to be using our borders. So I've just used my braided strips there. So I'm going to be just greasing it with some egg yolk, and you may use your milk and sugar wash. as I discussed. And for this again, I am using the twisted ones. For the small basket, I'm using the twisted ones and the twisted handles again, but alternately I'm also making a braided one. So I'm just going to be baking it for 10 minutes, roughly 10 to 12 minutes it took for me. So I'm just going to give it a good egg yolk wash, and then I'm going to bake it for 15 minutes at 180 C. So after the baking is completely done, I'm going to cool it for about 10 minutes, and then after 10 minutes we will start attaching our basket to its handle. So I'm carefully removing my mini basket there. If you need a knife's help, do try to scrape the border, and then if I would have used my silver foil, it would have easily come out. Well, no worries, but it simply came out clean. And now we will attach our handle and the border. So I will need toothpicks here. So just break one toothpick into two halves, and so that the toothpick is not visible while you're trying to prick it and attach the borders. So just at the corners, just use one toothpick here, one toothpick there. And my handle is gone into baking. Let it come out, let it cool down, then we will attach that as well. Now this is the donut dough that was resting for 1 hour. It has proved up super well again. So we will just continue and proceed with the similar procedure of kneading. So I will knead it for about 10 good minutes. After kneading, I will just cut it into 4 halves, and then we will just use a cookie cutter. Here I'm using a heart-shaped cookie cutter because it was a Valentine's Day special, but for making the regular dough you may use either a bowl. You don't need a cookie cutter basically, so you just may use a tumbler or anything to get that round shape. Now today I'm using a heart-shaped mold here, so I'm just cookie cutter here, so I'm just getting all these cute little hearts, and I will just cut them, keep it aside, and I'll just let them rest for about 10 minutes more before we deep fry them. So now this is another shape of heart I'm making. You may also choose this method, where I'm going to be just rolling up the dough into thin rolls and then stuffing it up, or kind of spread about 4 tablespoons of Nutella chocolates, Hershey's chocolate spread. So you just have to spread that. You may even use jam if you like, or just the cinnamon and sugar sprinklers. So you just use anything that you like, or just the sugar. So just roll it up, give it a heart shape, twist it before you give it a heart shape. Just twist it like this and give it a heart shape, and egg wash it. Now to this little hearts, I am going to be sprinkling a little bit of sesame seeds in there, just to give it a good look and a smart look, elegant look, and a bright look. So I am just going to be, you may even add onion seeds, and that is black in color, also equally looks brilliant. So I've just roughly made about 5 hearts there. Just pinch it at the center so that when it is baked, it doesn't open up and doesn't lose its shape. Yeah, just prick it at the center just like that. Yes, and now give it a good egg wash or milk wash, and after the egg wash we will sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds. Before it goes into the baking, I would just sprinkle little sesame seeds here. Now my handles are done. So these are the handles. Let's just kind of attach our handles. Now this is my mini basket, so I am just following the similar procedure using a toothpick. So one toothpick, break it into 2 halves and use it in the corners, and just like that, even for the handle. So very carefully you have to attach, so that making sure it doesn't break. Now let's start deep frying our donuts, the little hard donuts. So just take some oil, heat it, and on the medium flame you have to deep fry them, and make sure it doesn't, because it just turns brown and cooks very quick. So you just have to keep the flame at low to medium or medium, and then deep fry them until they turn golden brown. So it takes approximately about 3 to 4 minutes, and once they just are popped in, you will see that they just come onto the surface because they turn fluffy, lighter, and that's when you know that your dough is really doing your magic. The magic that you have tried to do with your yeast mix. So yeah, once it's golden brown, remove it in a tissue paper, strain it super well, and then you may either just dust the sugar, caster sugar, dip it in the caster sugar, give it a nice coating, Or you may as well do a little variation, which is I've used a little bit of cream stuffing in there. You may use jam stuffing as well. So I'm just going to be pricking it at the center. You may either do it at the tip or on the upper part. So I'm just going to make a hole with the help of anything. I'm just making a hole, and then that was a knife sharpener that I used, so I just made a hole and filled it up with some fresh cream, whipping cream. Ta-da! We are finally done, and this is the final plating. Just stuff it up with whatever you like breads or donuts or whichever variety of bread you're making. Just stuff it up and serve it with love to your loved ones. And especially, I want to thank each one of you for bearing with me for so long and watching this lengthy video. I'm so sorry about that, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed making and sharing this recipe. Hope you all enjoyed watching this, and just give it a try, dearies. Just try making it. Just look at that soft and yummy texture, because something that is homemade or home baked, trust me, it is divine, and it really turned out to be so delicious, and my kids really loved it. So wishing you all a happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching Prati's Kitchen.